Hello everybody. Welcome to my newest video. I know it's been a long time coming, but I've been quite busy doing a lot of things. I recently got a job as the analyst for Fnatic's Academy team, and I've been working with them. I was also coordinating moving, so that's why it's taken so long. That's why I sound different, and that's also why I'm choosing to make the topic that I am, which is what does an analyst do? I recently went into the Fnatic subreddit and talked to different people about different ideas of videos they want to get done. And one of the more suggested ones was asking me what I do, what an analyst does, what do I bring to a team. And I figured why not make a video, sort of outline what I bring to a team, and if anybody's looking to get into a job as an analyst, what should they be looking to do or skills they should be sort of seeing if they have. You know what I mean? So first off, I'm going to outline the main tasks that I feel like analysts do, or at least I'm going to talk about. But before I get into that, I wanted to say that I think it's a lot based off personal strength, what you feel comfortable doing, and what you feel like you can do a good job in, as well as sort of what the team needs. You know, if you're working with a coach or an assistant coach, what do they provide versus like what do they feel you could do that would most assist them. So I think you have to play off that a bit. And I also think it's important to continue to grow and to find more ways you can help or help more efficiently. And that's something I'm certainly looking into. I've put quite an effort into talk to other analysts from other teams and sort of compare what I do and what they do, what works for them, and what I could do differently or more efficiently. I think that's really important in any job if you want to be the best at it. But the 5 things that I've found so far that I feel like an analyst can do and really make an impact on the team would be patch changes, region breakdowns, efficiency calculations, and the big 2 are opposition scouting and stat collecting utilization. This is why, by the way, if you look at people who are sort of head analysts or analysts, sometimes in the job title, you'll see pro scout or scout. So the first one, patch changes, I sort of separate out into task, result, and purpose. The task is basically just what you're doing, what you're putting together. The result is basically what is going to come of the work, what is going to come of the stuff you put together, and the purpose is basically the goal, why you're doing it, and what people are going to see from the outside if you're able to do a good job. So for patch changes, the task is basically just copy all the item, rune, champion changes and put them into an organized document. Maybe you can cut out a few if you don't think they're useful, but the idea is to facilitate discussion between team members on the impact of these changes. So just talking about like if certain buffs they think are meaningful, or if certain nerfs are going to change the meta, or certain items get changed. Is that going to have an impact on certain champions? And the purpose of this is to get ahead of the meta and form unique strategies. If you have a better understanding and you've put more time into talking about the impact of the changes that have been made, then you're going to be one of the teams that's coming up with unique strategies that's earlier to catch on to maybe overpower things that have been buffed, or certain ways that you can get an advantage in the game that maybe other people haven't found yet. The next one is region breakdowns. The task is that you watch a certain team or league's games and note trends in playstyle or draft priority. This could be like as a result of a certain patch. Maybe your league is moving into a new patch and you want to watch how other leagues or other top teams have already adapted their playstyle to the new patch. Or maybe it's just that you see a team is doing well, or a certain league does really well on international stage, and you want to figure out basically what are they doing that's successful, how is their outlook different than ours, and how are they looking at the game and making changes and adaptations to the game. So the result is to understand the source of strength/weakness for certain teams. This team is really good on paper, but they've just started dropping games recently, like falling in the standings. And maybe you're trying to figure out what changes happened that caused that team to drop down, and because we want to avoid that. And I think that the purpose is to learn from the successes, failures of others, and be more prepared in handling different styles. So what you're going to see from the outside, if you're able to implement this correctly, is that your team is going to be able to basically pick things that other teams do well and implement them into your own team, sort of copy the strengths of other teams, but also try to avoid the pitfalls or weaknesses that maybe other teams have fallen into. And you're going to see a team that's much more prepared to handle different styles. So if they go into an international tournament, or if someone steals an idea that's popular in a different region, that they've already seen it, they've already talked about it a bit, and they're much more prepared to understand how to handle it. And the third one is efficiency calculations. This is pretty basic, but it's basically just, and very similar to the stat collecting one, but it's basically just your comparing efficiency of stats between items and runes. So maybe you look at a couple different build paths for a certain champion, and you want to figure out basically which ones are better in which scenarios. And so you look at the efficiency of the gold in certain scenarios, and maybe you say this build is better unless they have 3 defense items, and then this build is better, or this build is better if you can get a strong early lead, otherwise just go with this build. You know what I mean? So that's basically all you're doing, is you're just comparing the efficiency of stats between items and determining what the optimal build path or build paths are, depending on the situation. And the purpose, what you're going to see, if you're doing it correctly, is that you're going to find better item route choices for common in-game scenarios. Maybe you're the team that innovates, that finds a certain build path for a champion that's just better, or allows it to come into the meta. Even if it's as simple a thing as like, some people do one build, some people do another build, and you're able to figure out which one is better for which situations. Just makes you have the most use out of your gold. It's a little thing, but little things make the difference between winning and losing in high-level games. And the 2 big ones, we get opposition scouting, which is that you collect information on an upcoming opponent and sort valuable trends into an organized document. This could be on draft, this could be on early game, mid game, late game, it could be on anything, basically. But the idea is that you want to facilitate meaningful discussion to prepare and adapt for an upcoming match. As important as it is to be on your best and to be playing your best game, it's also important to understand what the enemy wants to do and how you can get them off their game, or not play to their strengths, or just be prepared for what they're going to throw at you. And so I think it's important to try to look at common trends in a certain team's games, the way they approach the game, the way that they do things differently than other teams you may play, and the result that you're going to see from proper discussion between all team members is that you're going to be going into the game, or any game, prepared to handle or react to the other team's plays optimally. So when they do the plays that they do a lot of the time, or when they're doing things that may be more specific to their team, you're not thrown off by it, you're prepared for it, you've already talked about it, and you're able to deal with it optimally, comfortably, and cleanly. Okay, and the final thing is stat collecting / utilization. Now this comes in many forms with various purposes, but it's basically just you're collecting various data points. Maybe you're getting it from online websites, maybe you're just tracking it yourself, about certain individual stats or certain individual numbers. But the important part is you have to find valuable statistics or trends out of those numbers. And the key is that they have to convey a message. And my example for this is, say you in your mind get a bunch of different data from a bunch of different games, and you're able to correlate, certain things equal wins, and you put it together in this big formula to what in your mind correlates to a team's ability to play the game. And it's just like, their early game leads combined with their ability to get objectives and all that stuff. It doesn't convey a message, you know what I mean? So like, if you look at that and you're like, oh, we're the team with the best play style number, that doesn't convey anything, because it doesn't tell me what I need to fix, what I need to do better in order to be successful, or what I could be doing wrong, how I can improve that number, how I can make that number better. What you need to do is look for various trends that convey areas that you need to work on, and look to find statistics that can help you track those areas, and if you're improving in those areas or not. And a result of a team that has proper stat collecting and utilization is they'll find ways to adapt their play, training, or focus that will improve either individual or team play. They'll also find statistics to track individual or team improvement to make it much more effective and make it much more obvious what things are working and what things aren't working. Alright, thank you everybody for watching. I'm glad you tuned in. I hope you learned something, and I'm looking forward to making the next video. Make sure to leave any suggestions for future videos below, or in like the Reddit post or anything. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.